Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Mars, because wherever Mars is going to be where the energy is. And Mars is going to go into the sign of Virgo. I've been talking about this for a long time. And essentially, when you talk about the cycle of Mars, it will stay in a sign for approximately 6 weeks or so. It takes 2 years to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac. So it's not rare that it goes into Virgo, obviously, but this is an intense time while it is in Virgo because of the aspects that it's forming to all the other planets. And there are a lot of things that are about to happen in this Mars as it goes into Virgo. Mars will go into Virgo August 18th and will stay there till October 3rd. When October 3rd, it will go into Libra and actually conjunct Ketu, which is a pretty big deal. That's going to be some kind of major shifts and changes. But I think the changes are going to transpire based on the fact that it's transiting in the sign of Virgo. But before I go forward, I always have to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter where you will be getting all of my predictions written out, delivered to your email address every week. Go to galacticcenter.org. While you're at my website, take note of all the different classes that are happening, such as shooting stars. I also have an online monthly magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights. Check that out. Plus, I have a university. Check that out. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com if you're interested in learning Vedic astrology. So continuing on about Mars. Mars, while it's in Virgo, it's going to be forming a quincunx to Saturn. Quincunx is the aspect that is the most disagreeable, if I could say. I know many people might think it's a square, but the quincunx is when two planets sit 6 and 8 signs from each other, and it really does give the essence of what the 6th and the 8th houses are about. The 6th house is the house of health and healing. And the 8th house is the house of endings, death, and a lot of other things. But just to give you reference of what this quincunx aspect means, it can mean accidents, death, health issues, all of the above. So Mars being in the sign of Virgo, Virgo is the sign that deals with health and healing. Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac, so it's relative to the 6th house in all of its matters. So we keep getting all these repercussions dealing with health and healing, and we've got to pay attention to this. So I think that with Mars going into Virgo by the 18th of August, and it is around the time in the Northern Hemisphere that deals with flu season and colds and the change of weather coming into the fall season, that I think this is going to have some serious connotations dealing with health. And I've been telling everyone to get healthy before we go into this season with Mars going into Virgo, staying there from August 18th till October 3rd. This is where all the flu seasons come in. Now, it could even be a big scare about another pandemic. If it is, I don't see it lasting. So don't get scared or freaked out by this. I mean, after what we went through with this last pandemic, it is a scary thought. What if there's another one? We can't go through another shutdown of the world, but this is important for you to get healthy during this time. Now, another thing, while Mars is in Virgo, it's going to be, I'm going to talk about the nakshatras that it's going to be transiting in. By the time it does go into Virgo, It's going to be in the nakshatra Uttara Falguni. Now, Uttara Falguni is one of the marriage nakshatras. Purva and Uttara Falguni deal with marriage and relationship. Friendship is actually what Uttara Falguni deals with. But it won't stay that long in this nakshatra. Actually, it will be in Uttara Falguni from August 18th, of course, when it enters into Virgo, through September 2nd. So that nakshatra deals with, it is ruled by the sun. So this is important. The sun deals with leadership on all accounts. And this is what I think a lot of the fear-based stuff is going on, because people don't feel like their leadership is representing them well. And I am talking about every country in the world. And really, if we want to get serious about this, this is probably due to the fact that COVID happened and there was lockdowns and nobody liked it. So guess what? They blame their leaders for everything. And to be honest with you, I don't think most of the leaders knew what to do. I mean, this was something new. This was a complete, thing out of the blue. What do we do? Do we lock down? Does it, we've never had anything like this before. So everyone was confused. There was like, should we get this vaccine? Is the vaccine harmful? What's going on with all of that? Everyone did this in such a rushed way to try to get past this. But consequently, it caused a lot of problems with people and their trust of governments and what's going on. So really, nobody's got it figured out exactly. And this caused so many problems for the world. And of course, when things don't get solved, the leaders get blamed, no matter where you are and what's going on. So my point is that this is going to bring back a lot of fears, though, concerning what happened with the pandemic and what to do about a future problem dealing with health and healing. So trust me when I say we need to get healthy. There's going to be some kind of scare. And here's another big date that I think is very important, around September 24th. And the reason why I think this one is important is because Mars, transiting Mars, will cross over natal Saturn in the USA chart. Natal Saturn sits at 24 degrees right there in the 10th house in Virgo, and transiting Mars will be on it on September 24th. So what does that mean? Well, that can mean there's a strike against something going on in the United States, or in terms of the government or leadership, something's happening. And yes, you're right. Mars does do this every 2 years. We don't have critical things happen every 2 years, but not when it's in a situation where it's in a quincunx to Saturn being in Aquarius. And Saturn, where it sits in Aquarius right now, is in the nakshatra Shatabishak, which is the nakshatra that deals with hard to cure diseases. So we keep getting all these repercussions of planets and what they mean in terms of health and healing. And also, as we have Rahu back through the sign of Aries, the first, Rahu is backing through Aries, and it's in the nakshatra called Ashwini. Ashwini is another nakshatra that deals with health and healing. And like I've been saying all along, I definitely feel like there is going to be some major cures and major health realizations with healing major diseases around the world. This is exciting. But it's going to take all sorts of crazy things happening to get us on the ball to find these diseases. how to cure them, how to deal with them. A lot will deal with energy medicine. Everything's going to change with how we look at healing and medicine. And it's going to get better, but there's going to be a crisis first. So looking at Mars being in Uttara Phalguni till from the time it enters Virgo, which is August 18th, till September 2nd, there will be a crisis about healing with leadership and all those type of things going on in the world. And then Mars by September 2nd, when it goes into the Nakshatra Hasta. Hasta is ruled by the moon. And it will be in Hasta till September 23rd. So from September 2nd to September 23rd, Mars will be in Virgo, but in the nakshatra called Hasta, which is ruled by the moon, which will make this very complicated because the moon, in essence, moves so fast, the ruler of this nakshatra, that it makes things happen quickly and things will change quite rapidly. And the other aspect is Mars is going to be making a quincunx September 1st. And this is right around when Mars changes into Hasta. It'll be in a quincunx to Saturn. And that is going to cause fear around health and healing because of Saturn's location in Aquarius as well. Now, as it continues to move by September 20th, Mars will go into a quincunx with Jupiter. So essentially, it's going to be a very wide yod, which yods deal with what? Destiny and things that happen that are pretty much a fated event. And I think there's going to be all sorts of shifts in leadership when as Mars transits into the sign of Virgo. Basically, it's going to be in the 10th house of the United States chart. But the aspects that it's making with Saturn and Jupiter and Rahu are critical. Because Rahu, being in Ashwini, Mars is making a quincunx at this time as well to Rahu. And this is in the month of August. So with all of this, we have some serious things to think about. Serious things to think about in terms of how health and healing are implemented in the world and how we're going to help people. This just keeps coming up. And another thing is we cannot be playing around with deadly diseases. This has to all change and things need to come out to heal this. This is what I am concerned about. Now by September 23rd till October 3rd, Mars will be in the nakshatra Chitra. And this is the most volatile time. Why? Because Chitra is ruled by Mars. So Mars becomes extraordinarily intense while it is in this portion of the zodiac. And it will deal more with violence, with disruption, with change, and even Mars will start to go into a quincunx with Uranus. And that's sudden, unexpected shifts and changes. So you see, this is a time right now, as you're listening to this, before we go into Mars with Virgo, to get healthy, to get strong, to clear your consciousness, to raise your consciousness, and not be consumed with fear. Fear is, in due part, what causes disease, and disease is what breeds fear. So we want to be strong and healthy spiritually, mentally, and physically to get through this little bump in the road, if I could call it that. But this is a time for serious thought and doing everything, meditation, affirmations, connecting to our spirit, breath work, eating right, taking our vitamins, and being cognizant of how we treat other people and what we say. This is the time, while Mars is in Virgo, to get into health and healing and to get healthier. So that's my plea with everyone, to get on a health kick, and let that be the result of Mars being in Virgo. Instead of illness and disease, have it be where we're all on a health kick. So even August 22nd, I've been telling everyone, watch for that day, because when Mars gets into an opposition with Neptune while it's in Virgo, there can be a lot of fear, and Neptune can deal with disease. So let's get healthy prior to this and make this a self-awareness time where we raise our consciousness. So with that, I think I'd like to close. Remember, if you would like more information on me, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, I have an amazing all-online university. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.